This is Metal Mike, and in this episode, man, we got a guy we're always talking about on the podcast, the killer vocalist from Lowside and formerly of Lillian Axe, Mr. Ron Taylor. Ron talks his new singles with Lowside, and we go through all the classic Lillian albums, man. You gotta check this out. Ron, welcome to the 80's Glam Metalcast, man. How are you?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
Super good, man. Hey, this is a big moment for the Metalcast. We're always talking about Ron Taylor on the podcast, so nice to finally have you on, man.
Man, thanks for having me.
You got it.
We've been trying to work this out for a while, haven't we?
We have. We finally came together, so good stuff. All right. Well, hey, you got a couple great singles out right now, man, with Lowside. You got Our Song. It's like a straight-ahead, heavy rocker, and then you just put out This Old Life, which kind of has like the mellow verses, and then the real heavy chorus. Tell everybody about these songs, man, because probably a lot of people, haven't heard from you in a long time. So tell everybody about these songs.
I mean, I'm not sure, how many people know about the history of Lowside, or I came from Lillian Axe. I assume some people know about that. And, we put Lowside together in about 2005. Darren and I had actually started writing songs earlier than that, 2003, 2004. And we put out our debut CD in 2013. Worked with Sterling Winfield from the Pantera crew on that one here in Dallas. We've just been kind of off and on, since then. The guys, everybody's kind of doing the family thing and the work thing, and life seems to get in the way of all our fun of writing songs and recording. And we'll work on them, and we've probably been trying to perfect these songs for 5 years now, and we finally just said, let's just go in the studio. Screw it, we're never going to get it absolutely perfect, So we went in and did the first single for Our Song here in Dallas at Empire Sound, which is a great little spot, and we're really happy. Really happy with what we came out of it with. Went in and did This Old Life shortly after that, and now we actually Darren and Sal is our drummer, Sal Tornio, formerly of Hammerwitch. We're going to get together this Saturday, and start really digging into the drums. What we try to do is record these songs onto my laptop. Got a little studio set up. So we'll go over to Darren's. We've got all the drums set up over there, and we'll go over there and just really work out all the details, for the drums. Make sure, hey, is this really what you want to put down? Because we're in we don't have all the millions like we did back in the day to record.
That's right. That's right.
And so you're going into a good studio, and you don't want to be getting in there and wasting time, right? I mean, every hour you're in there is costing you, So we just want to make sure that we get in there and we knock it out 1 or 2 takes, man. That everybody's ready, and we've done really good at that on the other 2 songs, and learned a lot of lessons, and we should make us better on this one. And let's see, we're going to do the next one. It's called Go This Road. You never have to go this road alone. And then we've got 2 more right after that. So we should have 5 singles released here. Probably, what month are we in? I would say by the end of the year, but no, it won't be by the next single should be out by the end of the year, I would think.
No, Ron, is this going to lead to like a full album, or are you just going to kind of put out songs here and there and just see where
it goes? Right now, dude, we have no idea.
Mm-hmm. Right.
we're putting the singles together as we can, and recording them as we can, and we're just gonna keep going down that path, and that would be great to just keep doing them until we've got 10 or 12, and then put them out. That would be awesome.
It's funny when you mentioned you mentioned the debut album you did. And I love that. I thought it was great. But, the crazy thing is it was 11 years ago. I don't even know where the hell time goes.
I know, it really does. And we had a blast making that one. It took us about 5 years to make that thing. We went in and recorded all the bass and all the drums in one studio. And then we went into another studio a while later and started doing guitars. And then we were working. Sterling had a Boot Hill Studios in his house, had a home studio, and we did the vocals and everything there. And that was one of those situations where you've got the time to just. It was almost like a Tuesday Night Music Club, Sheryl Crow's record. That we go over there every Tuesday and work, and it's where you walk out of there, you go, oh, that's it, that's awesome, it's awesome, this is it, we're done with that song. And I get in my car and drive off, and Darren gets in his car and drives off, and we're calling each other about halfway home going, that ain't it, bro.
Back to the drawing board.
We got to do it again, which was great. It was a blessing and a curse, because now you're just spending too much time trying to perfect it. And that's the situation now with this new situation. It's like, it's almost like quick recording. You get in there, you knock it out, and you get out, and you live with it.
Yeah, it's tough to be super critical because, the average listener's not going to know this. You know what I mean? Like, that. Although you have to be happy, right? Because that one little thing, it's like when somebody paints.
That one little thing will bug you forever, right?
The rest of your life, right? I always liken it to like when you're painting in your house or something. There's that one little spot. Nobody's going to walk into your house and point to that corner and say, "Oh my God, there's that spot." But like you'll know about it. You know what I mean? So, but the average listener, like I said, if there's some little thing that's driving you crazy, they're not even going to pick up on it.
Yeah, I hear you. And then you're going, well, how much would it cost to come back? And then you get in, you're like, well, hey, while we're here, let's work on this, work on that. But, we're having a blast, man. We're having a good time. We're doing it at our pace. We don't have that carrot of fame and fortune out in front of us, that we're chasing. Mm-hmm. We're kind of doing rock and roll at our own pace. And having fun doing it, we just played a show Saturday night, and it went great. And we had a good time, and people seem to be digging the singles. If we don't sell 1 million copies, it don't matter at this point. We're digging the game, and that's kind of back before Lillian Axe. I always felt like we worked hard. We were always hard workers. But it was always for the love and the fun, And then we got into Lillian, and you got a record deal and all of that. Now it became a job, and it was hard work. We had no idea how hard it was going to be to get out there and play every night, drive to the next town, be on the morning show, singing on the radio at 8 a.m. the next morning, and then go into a distribution company or something like that, to meet those people and say hi to those people, and then going and doing a radio event, and then running back and taking a quick shower, and then going and doing sound check and playing a gig and doing it all over again. That's a young man's game.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm not saying I didn't like that, but it's I've had a lot more joy making music away from the record label part of it, So, and I mean, hey, we had some great times in Lillian Axe too. I mean, just the experiences that we had of, Rat was around, and Marshall Burrow from Rat was our manager that got us the original deal, and getting to go out to Hollywood the first time and have Robin Crosby, the guitar player from Rat, producing our record, and just, I'm in there singing vocal tracks, and I'm thinking to myself, is that Nikki Sixx in the guitar room? Oh my God, what's he doing?
Was he there?
Hey, sing that again, sing that. I'm like, no, I want to come meet him. No, don't go, stay right there. And that was just an unbelievable experience, that you're hanging out with, at that time, dude, we thought, it was like a dream come true, man. We thought how can we not be famous, right?
Right.
We're going out. Marshall's like, okay, well, y'all are done with your studio, recording for today. Let's go out to the Rainbow. And we're hanging out with the guys on White Snake and Poison and all. You're just right there in the in crowd, And then we went on the road after that one, and reality hit quick. But we still had a blast, and we actually got Guns N' Roses had I guess it was their first bus, the Night Train, and they graduated to a better bus, and we got there We got their crappy old bus, but we thought that was the best bus we'd ever seen in our whole lives, man.
It's awesome. I did not know that.
We had a lot of good times on that bus, you know, and then moved on and did the Love and War record. Did that, went out in California with Tony Platt. Tony Platt was from the Def Leppard camp. He had worked a lot with Def Leppard, and that was just a really cool, rewarding learning experience. You know, to get in with somebody like that you know really worked with tons of people.
Let's backtrack a little bit. Let's go back to you moved past the debut. I did want to pick your brain on the debut a little bit because which a lot of people, you talked about pre-Lillian Axe. I mean, you were in a band called Stiff. So when you guys got together, right, was these songs already put together? But it seems like you guys collaborated on a few different songs for that one. So what happened when you guys came together as Lillian Axe all together?
Steve had already written most of those songs. We came in and we collaborated a little bit, but most of that stuff was already written. Those guys have been shopping that material forever. Stiff was out shopping our stuff, and those guys were shopping their stuff, and all the regional bands were kind of doing the same thing, at the same time, And Lillian got a chance to open up for Rat, I think 3 dates in Louisiana.
Oh, nice.
And that's where Marshall Burrell saw him, and that was a lucky break, son.
Yeah, that's awesome. What are some of your favorites off the debut? For some reason, man, I don't know. I always used to think some of the later ones were better than the debut, but as I'm getting older, I don't know. I like the debut quite a bit. I feel like it's just it's a straightforward rocker. You know what I mean? Like I think it got kind of eclectic, and I like that too. But I feel like that debut is just real straightforward. What are some of the tunes you like on there?
I don't even remember what's on there. You have to remind me.
Laughing in Your Face, Misery Loves Company, Hard Luck, Inside Out. There's a few.
Yeah, Hard Luck, Waiting in the Dark. Love that song. Love Hard Luck. Nobody Knows. I mean, hey, I have to agree with you.
It's a solid album. It's funny too. You say "Waiting in the Dark." Like that's the song probably that's the most almost like epic. You know what I mean? It's a little different than the rest of them. It definitely has more of a story and some things going on. I freaking love the debut, man. Love it.
Well, thank you.
And I think Nobody Knows is like a really great showcase for your voice. I think as we get going, we'll probably hit a couple moments where you really get to shine. But I think that's kind of like your shiny moment vocally on that album. It was really great performance.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, man, no problem. And we all always bitch on the show to say that should have been a big hit because that smokes all the other power ballads out there. So
thank you.
You got it, man. You got it. All right. Well, okay. Now let's jump to Love and War. So Love and War is weird in the respect that there's half of the album I feel is kind of like the debut, and then there's another piece of song that are more complex, like Ghost of Winter and Letters in the Rain and all that kind of stuff. So it was kind of like a mixing of the old style from the debut, but then some new styles. So, let me ask you about this one because this you'll know about. So My Number, right? I was watching on YouTube. Now Stiff used to play My Number. Was that? Yeah. So was that kind of like your guys' idea to put that on there?
Yeah. We just we added it to the live set, and it went over great, and so we just added it to the record. They were looking for a cover to do, and that's how it all worked out. But yeah, Love and War is that's my favorite Lillian record.
Yeah, most people it is. I think to a lot of people, I think that's when you got at least your biggest airplay from MTV was Show a Little Love. I think that's when most people that I know of got into Lillian Axe was for Love and War. So yeah, I mean, and it is. I mean, and it's a great album. It's a great album.
And you're right. You know, I really liked the style of the Ghosts of Winters and the World Stopped Turning, and that, you know, that darker kind of stuff. You know, and I feel like also we were maybe struggling a little bit with, you know, Stiff came in as a little bit more of a glam type band than Lillian was, right? Yeah. So I feel like we may have stuck our grubby little fingers in there a little bit, you know, the Down on Yous and She Likes It on Top, right, and stuff like that. That I look back on those now and I'm like, oh, it was good, but it was a little cheesy, but I don't hate it, but I feel like, you know, we're really touching on some good stuff with some of that other stuff, but yeah. Hey, I have no regrets at all.
No, She Likes It on Top, though, I feel is interesting because your mind goes one way, right, when you hear that, but then when you hear the lyrics, it really isn't what it means. It's more like she just wants to be on top of the world, not necessarily on top of you. You know what I mean? So like, it is kind of cool the way it's kind of like a play on that whole statement. You know what I mean? So I feel like that was kind of. I always thought that Lillian had more intelligent lyrics than probably anybody else, you know, in the whole hair metal 80s era. So.
Right. Well, appreciate that.
Yeah. So what was it like writing with Steve? So like, look, I mean, obviously Steve's a pretty prolific writer, and he probably can write a whole album by himself. Was it hard to get? Was it hard to get like your ideas in there, or what was it? Like when you guys would write together, because you got songwriting credits, are you putting in lyrics? How did it go?
You know, it was kind of all over the board. There was times that we were together and working on stuff, and it was really easy, and you know, other times that we were not together. He was in Louisiana, I was in Arizona, where it became a little harder to work together in that situation. I remember I don't play guitar or anything, right? This is before the computer studios got all crazy, you know, and so I've got a little keyboard at the house, you know, and I'm like what was Body Double. I'm sitting there trying to write the idea for Body Double, and I'm on the keyboard going do 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 do. You know, I sent it to him. I sent him a cassette, you know, because even at that time you're not emailing tracks back and forth. You know, sent him a cassette, and he's like, "What the heck is this? It sounds like Nintendo or something, bro."
I was gonna say, it probably had a keyboard that sound like a video game.
I'm like, just think of that as guitar. Can't you hear it? Can't you turn it? So sometimes, you know, and I guess it's just like songwriting at any time. Sometimes it's really easy and comes really easy, and other times it doesn't, you know.
Yep.
But for this one, for Love and War, for Poetic Justice, you know, we spent a lot of time together. I remember just sitting on the floor in his living room, you know, just hashing stuff out, you know. It was a blast. We had a great time. You know, and there was other stuff that hey, dude, check this idea out. And you're going, hey, that's perfect right there. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, especially around the time of Poetic Justice, you guys did a lot of acoustic stuff, like you'd be on TV or something, you know, doing acoustical things. And a nice thing to add to the band is that you had somebody who could sing as well. You know what I mean? So you could do all those harmonies live. So a lot, you know the deal. Most people do all that shit in the studio. They can't do it live. But with Steve, you had somebody that could do those harmonies. So, I mean, it always sounded great when it was just the two of you.
Yeah, there's not many bands that are that lucky to have somebody that could sing, you know, as good as he could. You know, he had his own band after Lillian, Near Life Experience, and I thought he sang in that band. I thought he did a great job.
Once you hit the 90s, though, did you think that, like, maybe the chance of getting really big, you know, in Lillian Axe was kind of over? I mean, because it felt like, you know, the 80s were a one kind of thing, and you kind of fit into that. And then you got into the 90s, right? But then you didn't really. It's almost like this band just doesn't fit anywhere. You weren't like a Warrant or a Winger, but you weren't Alice in Chains. It's almost like this band was just an anomaly. What do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree. And just, you know, like I was saying before, the little bit of a personality conflict there with. It makes me wonder, like on the Love and War, had we stayed with the darker side, right, and not gone into She Likes It on Top and Down on Yous and that, and just kind of kept it with that a little more focused, on that darker sound. Would that have been enough? And I really, looking back now, I don't think it would have with Nirvana and all those guys coming through. I think we'd have been wiped out by the whole tsunami anyway.
Yeah, I mean, because you look at, there were some bands that came out even after you, like Saigon Kick is a great example. They definitely were not normal, you know what I mean? But somehow they got grouped in with everything, with all the other bands. So, it comes up all the time, a lot of second guessing. It is what it is. I mean, everything's got a cycle, and if you look at, this shit happens every decade, disco, 80's metal, grunge, you know what I mean? It all has its life cycle, and it is what it is.
Going into the 90s, that's when we switched over to Grand Slam IRS Records, and we did the Poetic Justice record. That was actually a situation to where that label said, "Hey, we're going to make you guys a priority." And we had heard that before. We're like, "Yeah, whatever." Yeah. But they took us over to SEMA, which is, what was that, Capitol, Elektra, MCA, I don't know. It was like a big conglomerate of record labels. And they said, we've got this category here, top category where these bands are going to be pushed. And there's 3 different categories. And they're like, you guys are in the top category. You will be pushed. Wow. And even at that, you're like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah, heard that before.
But as soon as it started happening, man, we could tell. You're going, whoa, okay, hey, look at this. Our album is in the stores. Mm-hmm. Oh, wow, look at this. It's at the front of the store. It's in the window, And so now we start getting a little bit excited, and then True Believer came out, and you could tell that too, because it's on the radio in a lot more cities than we'd ever been on the radio ever before. I could tell it was very humbling. You would go to a city that you're on the radio and it's like you're famous. They're just like, wow, going crazy. And the very next night you would go somewhere that you're not on the radio, and you'd be going, this can't be it. This isn't where we're playing, is it really? And that was kind of the story of our lives on the road. But yeah, we were seeing it, man, and you're just like, holy crap, and we're all just going like, we're going to make it. This is it. This is, holy crap. This is it. And then we got a call, and they said that the majority of shares of IRS had been purchased by the other label, and everyone that was working the True Believer single had been laid off and let go.
Oh, that sucks.
And you talk about a heartbreaker, man. All the marketing people that were working it, all the radio people, gone. Damn. Because the big corporation was going to use their people. Their people didn't care anything about us. They had nothing invested in us. And that was, and then they said, we want to put out No Matter What, and we want to do a video to No Matter What. We were really wanting to do the video to True Believer, and they said, no, let's wait and do it to No Matter What. And hey, maybe they did have a great plan, and that phone call just blew it all to crap.
Yeah, No Matter What, I do like that, but I don't, like I said, I think everybody in retrospect thinks True Believer would have been the better choice.
Seasons changing quickly, my attitude is strictly here and now. The time is getting nearer, but it's alright now to run along with me. Maybe I'll make you see I'm a true believer.
That's what we thought, man. So that was one of the more disappointing phone calls that we ever got. Mm-hmm. Just when you think you're well on your way, they pull the rug out from under you.
What happened? So talk about psychoschizophrenia a little bit. So you're still on the same label, and I think
still on the same label.
I still think at that point
recorded that at the same place. We were recording outside of Baltimore for the Poetic Justice album, and what a great environment that was too. I mean, we were so lucky, dude, with recording our records, that every studio that we worked at, every producer we worked with was phenomenal. You know, and some people look back and go, dang, oh, Robin Crosby couldn't have done a good job. Dude, Robin was great. He was great. And he even told us years later, he goes, yeah, I was all on heroin and stuff back then.
right.
And dude, I've been around people doing drugs my whole life, and I never saw him other than, you know, smoking a joint now and then or whatever in the studio to where I went, this dude is wasted. Never. He was always really professional and on top of it. You could just tell he loves the game, right? He loved music. He loved putting it all together, and that was such a great experience. So we did Poetic Justice with Lake Mesas, and we wanted to do Psycho with him as well. And so we went back in with him, went back into that Sheffield studio in Baltimore. You know, just once again, just great learning experiences, and just worked so hard. I've never worked so hard. I've never been so mad in my life as when we were doing our records, all of our records, but especially working with Lake Mesas. You know, he'd be like, do it again, do it completely different. Well, what do you mean completely different? I don't know, just do it, just a completely different range, and just forcing me to think outside the box. Mm-hmm. And I look, my poor band members now, I do that to them.
Do they?
Chill. I'm like, dude, just completely forget about everything you're doing and do it completely different. And they get about as mad as I did in the studio.
Oh, I bet.
I'm a pretty calm, cool, collected dude. But it got pretty intense in the studio. And I look back at it, I'm going, man, that was just so great. You know, you think about it. I don't know. I guess you're familiar enough with the end of Ghost of Winter. Like, I'm doing all this high. You know. Yep. And that was the producer just going, dude, just, you know, go up right there and just kill it, man. Just kill it, you know.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And you look back now and you're going, hell yeah.
I think on Psycho Schizophrenia, you got another one of your real big moments, and that's the day that I met you, man. Because, you know, when I think of that song, it's you and the guitar. And that's it. You know what I mean? There ain't nowhere to hide. There's no special effects or anything like that that's going to save you. This is it. And it's like, it's killer. Where does the emotion come from when you sing a song like that? Where do you pull from?
You know, I just try to take the lyric and make it my own, and try to find a place in my heart for it, and just go from there, man. Just get in there, and hey, by the time I sang what was really recorded, I was probably so pissed off.
You had to do it 20 times.
It's like I'm singing a one painful morning in the back of my head. I'm going, fuck this guy. Just great memories, great experiences.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, when I look at Psycho Schizophrenia, it's a real hybrid of an album. You know, because it's another one of those ones where it's hard to classify. You can't say this is 80s metal. It isn't grunge. It's kind of like its own thing. And I just remember at that time, that's kind of what I was looking for. You know, when I heard that album, I was like, yeah, this is what I want. Because I think I was a teenager. I was kind of set with some of the stuff that had, you know, kind of like with everybody, kind of got a little overdone in the 80s, you know, and you're kind of looking for something different. And that really fit the bill. Like I said, I look back at that as one of my favorite albums of all time. And it's
thank you very much.
It's a killer. And like I said, especially like I said, the day that I met you, you know, it's like I said, the vocal performance, the lyrics, it's just the whole thing, top notch, man.
Man, we sure appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
Blessed to have been able to have those experiences, man. And
Yep.
Get in and do that kind of stuff and work with people that really knew what they were doing and had lucky enough to have the budget at that time to be able to go in and really, you know, experiment and work hard and spend lots of hours. Just, man, we spent hours and hours and hours working on those records.
Anybody ever try to snag you out of Lillian Axe into like any other bands that were out at the time, or did people leave you alone?
Not really. I thought it was kind of funny when after I first joined Lillian, we'd known the Pantera guys forever. Mm-hmm. I grew up with them around this area, and I think as we were getting ready to go do the first record, and the Pantera guy's dad called me, and he's like, "Hey, the guys were thinking maybe you'd come down and audition to be their singer." Terry Glaze was leaving the band.
Oh wow, yeah.
They were looking for a new singer, and hey, we really got some awesome stuff going on. We think we're going to get a record deal, and da 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 da. And I'm like, man, I love you guys, but y'all a little too heavy and crazy for me. I got a record deal going on. I think I'm good. I think I'm good where I am.
Well, that would have been pretty interesting. Wow, that could have been a change of the course of history right there.
Yeah, Pantera would never have made it big time.
No. I don't know how I got it. Probably in the early 2000s, there's a lot of CD trading and stuff going on. And I got a CD where it's like you singing songs like Quarantine and Until the End of the World. And these are all songs that ultimately ended up on the album that they put out without you, Waters Rising. But I always loved those songs. I was because you guys have kind of been absent. You didn't do a lot for a while. And then when I heard those songs, I got really excited. I was like, "Oh, all right, we've got another Lillian Axe with Ron on it." And then ultimately, it didn't. I don't know. Like I said, I know there's stuff where I don't think you wanted to tour anymore or as much. Or well, you tell me, man. You tell me whatever you want to say. But I was kind of bummed when like you weren't on that next Lillian Axe album.
Right, man. Until the End of the World is one of my favorite all-time Lillian songs. Love that song.
It's so great.
But there at the end, dude, it was just we had gone through the full-time touring and doing the records and all that. That lasted until I think 95, and then between 95 and 99, we didn't do anything. It was weird. It was like, hey, look, we're going to go take a little break, and we'll throw some more dates together, and we'll see y'all in a while. All right, see you later. And we didn't do anything until 99. Mm-hmm. And the only reason that we did do anything in 99 is because our buddy Dave Tedder called up and said, hey, if you guys have some old demos, I think I could get you a deal with a small label in England. And Steve called me up and said, hey, are you cool with that? And I'm like, sure, hey, why not? And so Music for Nations put out Fields of Yesterday, mm-hmm. and next thing you know, it was on again. You go, oh, crap.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, the rest of us, everybody had gone home. Darren had a kid or two, gotten jobs, gotten mortgages, whatever, whoever had gotten themselves into during that time off. And then it got tougher to get together and go play shows. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of that between after 99 was, we would go and play like a Thursday, Friday, and a Saturday, fly home on Sunday, go to work.
Yep.
And a couple weeks later, a few weeks later, you go play a few more. And so in the days of full-time touring were over. We got an opportunity to go to Japan for a week, and Darren actually got fired from his job.
Ooh.
For doing that,
mm-hmm.
but I'm sure in hindsight, he's got that memory of getting to go play in Tokyo, and that was an awesome experience, so it just got tougher at that point, there wasn't enough support or money to go out and do it full time again.
Yep, sure.
And I think most of us were not even willing to at that point, what do you mean we're going to just jump in a van and,
Yeah.
Had you told any of us that, hey, we've got a new record deal, you've got tour support, you're going to be, in a bus, you're going to be doing this and this and this and this, we'd have all gone for it. But it was just, in that time that we could see for the first time the crowds were going down.
Mm-hmm.
Dan and I still talk about that. There was a couple of shows that we did there at the end, and I felt like all of our fans were kind of looking at us with sad eyes. I felt like they kind of felt sorry for us.
Oh, boy.
And I'm like, dude, that just crushed my heart, man. I'm like, dang. You just felt like they were looking around going, I'm sorry, there's not anybody here.
Right. That's tough. Tough.
And so that was kind of, and it just kind of, at the time, it just felt like it had run its course,
Yep.
You're like, we don't really have the money to get out and tour full time, doing this part time thing, and it would be a situation where you get a call that, hey, we can go out with LA Guns for 3 weeks and do a little run with those guys. Let's go do it. And you're going, dang, bro, I got a good job.
Right.
Right. If you're telling me it's Metallica, then yeah, maybe, But,
Yep.
And so it was just kind of a, time in my life, Darren's life, and John was out of the band by then, but he was actually jamming with us by then. It had just kind of run its course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No,
It was never. I know people like to. People ask, was there a big blow up? Was there a big fight? Did you guys hate each other? Any of that? And I'm like, no. I wish we had a good story to tell.
Right. That's that's sensational.
And like I said, it wasn't necessarily that we didn't want to tour. We just didn't want to tour like that.
Right. That makes total sense.
That's touring even in a bus is a young man's game. But it was just just didn't really have record company support and all that, and couldn't get out and really do it right, and I think for me it was the pressure of feeling like I was letting the band down when you did get that offer to go play a few weeks with somebody or something. You didn't want to be the one that was always saying no, I can't do it.
Right.
So it's like, hey, well, I don't know, step aside and y'all find somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And just keep jamming. I mean, and dude, Derek came in after me and sang, and that dude was killer, bro. I could have never asked for a better singer to come replace me in Lillian Axe than that guy, man.
Yeah. He definitely sounded like you. You know what I mean? Like when I listened to it, I could tell it's not you, but his voice resembles yours. So I don't know if he did that purposely or if he is just his voice is naturally like yours. I don't know, but he sounds similar to you.
I think he's one of those guys he's been in cover bands his whole life.
Uh-huh.
He's one of the French Quarter cover band singer guys, and he can just emulate anybody.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Right. And so he might have kind of done that, whether on purpose or not, I don't know. But
right.
I listen to stuff that he did, and I'm just like, holy crap, that dude rocks.
Yep.
So, and also I was happy for him. I'm like, hey, they found somebody that can, sing my stuff and sing it good,
Yeah. No, totally. I think he sounded great. And it was weird. There was a guy, I think, after him, Brian, who sounded nothing like you. And then it sounds weird. You know what I mean? So it's almost like you got to have that kind of a voice, at least in my ears, in Lillian Axe, that it sounds, still has that similar kind of a sound. You know what I mean? And then when the next guy didn't, I was like, wow, it just sounds weird to my ears. I'm just being honest. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when Glenn Danzig starts singing for AC/DC, you know that.
Right. You got to get somebody who's of the nature. It's like, it's like Queensryche, right? Like they got Todd LaTorre there. He sounds like Jeff Tate. I mean, you ain't like you said, you ain't gonna get somebody in there that doesn't have that sound. I mean, it just wouldn't make sense.
Right. And you hate to tell a singer you have to sound like this, but then again, the band. People fell in love with a certain sound in the band.
Yeah. So let me ask you this one. Let me ask you this one. So say Steve calls you someday and says, "Hey, Ron, I just want to do like a project with you, like just a recording project or something like that." Would you be down with something like that?
We'd have to see about it, man. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I have to see what the situation was.
Yeah, like almost.
And just like I hate traveling. I hate even going on vacation now. We went to France this year for vacation, and I'm just told myself, just smile and be quiet. Just smile and be quiet. Let your family have fun. I had fun once I was there, but just airports and hotels, and I cannot stand it anymore. People are going, "Is Lowside going to tour?" I'm like, hell no.
I mean, back to what you're saying about, like, you guys had jobs and everything. I totally get it because, obviously I work a full-time job where I've got benefits and I've got a 401k and all these things. And it's like, you hate to sound like an old person, but like, you gotta have these things, it's always so sad when you see like some of these musicians that they don't have health insurance and then they have to do some kind of GoFundMe and all this kind of stuff. Because I know just like a simple visit could turn into like $15,000, you know what I mean? And nobody's got that just sitting around in their pocket, you know what I mean? So I do feel bad, but it's like, it's almost like at a certain point, if the money's not there and the security's not there, like you said, you kind of got to have a backup plan.
I think for 14 or 15 years, all I owned was a suitcase and a boom box. I didn't have no car, didn't have nothing, And all of a sudden, hey, you're not on the road anymore, and oh wow, I need to buy me a little car so I get to a job because I don't see any Lillian Axe checks in the mailbox.
Totally.
Yeah, reality hit, man. And hey, even to this day, now there's been my kids, my son is a freshman in college, my daughter's a freshman in high school, and there's been most of their lives I've said, I am not missing my kids. I'm not going off on the road and missing my kids' lives.
Yeah.
I want to be here. I want to be going to soccer games and going to horseback riding and dance recitals and all that stuff. And now that they're a little older, I'm like, if the right thing came along once again, I've got a pretty dang good job, but if the right situation would present itself, then we would definitely have to think about that.
Well, good, man.
But until then, we're just having a blast. We'd love to get some label call us up and say, hey, we want y'all to knock these next songs out a little quicker. Let's get a record out for y'all.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That would be nice.
Yeah, and the cool thing too is that, which I wanted to mention earlier, but we never got to, is that really your voice doesn't sound any different. You know what I mean? The music is obviously different. It's more modern than Lillian Axe, obviously. But I think like your voice, the kind of things that you do with harmonies and melody, it's very similar to what you've always done. So
appreciate that. That's funny. My wife and I were just talking about that the other day. She was saying that too. She's like, man, your harmonies always kind of have this different kind of thing to them. And I'm like, well, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
And I do, the guy that was recording us, he's like, you sure you want to sing? I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm like, yeah, believe me, I've worked on these harmonies. So that's one of my favorite things to do is write them harmonies out.
Yeah. Yeah, you're the master at them, man. You always have them, and they always sound good.
Thank you very much, man. We're still having the time of our lives, man. I mean, me and Darren go out and play our little acoustic gig almost every weekend. The day I met you was actually in our set almost every time we play.
Awesome.
And most people have no idea what the heck we're doing.
They don't know the song, but they think it sounds good.
and yeah, man, I'm so blessed to still be able to sing, so blessed.
Yeah,
and,
not everybody can, man. That I mean, a lot of people, they didn't take care of their instrument. They smoked and did all kinds of crazy shit, and they can't sing anymore. So I mean, you are.
There was a lot of situations as we were, going through those days that, there was a lot of drugs and stuff out and stuff, and I was the kind of guy, I wanted to do them. I was like, I want to sit there and snort cocaine with you guys, but I can't do it and sing, so I'm just gonna sit back here and drink my beer.
Yeah. Well, it worked out good.
Which I think saved my voice.
Saved your voice.
Because it got, it was like, you're either gonna party like that, or you're gonna be able to sing. So I'm like, all right.
That's your instrument. It's like with a guitar player. Your guitar breaks or something like that. You go get a new one. But like your voice, if your voice is toast, you ain't getting a new voice. It's gone.
Yeah. I hear some of these guys struggling now, and you're just like, oh man, wow. And, dude, to be honest with you, I don't know that I could probably go out and play a Lillian show one night.
Yeah.
And those songs, man. I was a fired up 20-something-year-old kid, man.
Right.
Singing them songs, these days I'd be going, Steve, can you lower that key a little bit for me there, brother?
Let's tune it down a little bit.
So, White Lion was the what's his name from White Lion was here a couple nights ago, and I was watching the videos, and and he's singing like, wait, I never had a chance to love you.
Yeah. And
hey, dude, if that's the only way you can do it, then freaking do it like that, and all the respect in the world to you.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what's going on with Don Dokken, and I don't know what's going on with Bon Jovi.
Right.
But they got some weird stuff going on. I don't want to disrespect them, but I question both of those guys. It's like, I understand not being able to sing, but you've completely lost all musical ability. Right. I don't understand that.
Yes.
You've lost your timing. You've lost your sense of timing, too. And so I'm just going like, what? Are y'all on downers? Or I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to talk shit about nobody, but it just makes me question, just like, the guy from White Lion, he's singing his stuff low. That's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I was Don Dokken right now, I would be singing those songs an octave lower than they were written. I would have my sound man put an effect on there, an octave, to where that octave is sitting back there in the background, and you're getting to hear what you heard back then.
Yeah.
But I'm up there going, we're the Dream Warriors.
It's super low. Yeah, it's like crooning or something. Yeah.
And but still sing it with Pat. Does that make sense?
No,
I can understand you lost your voice.
Yep, it does.
But are you not able to sing it low and still sing it with a little bit of passion and a little bit of timing? And that's what I don't understand. I'm with you. I'm the first person that will show you compassion for losing your voice, and the fact that age does take a toll, on your voice, But what I'm hearing from those two is just weird. I'm curious if it'll ever come out. Especially John Bon Jovi. What?
Yeah, you're right. It's sad. I feel bad for him, but yeah, I mean, at some point you have to make a decision. Like, why am I going to keep doing this? And you know what I've always thought about with people like that totally lose it, like Bon Jovi? Like, maybe what's so wrong with scaling it down? Do like a storyteller type of a thing where you're doing acoustical. You bring some other guy who can sing the higher stuff, and you just kind of do the lower stuff, or you talk in between songs. You know what I mean? Like, there's got to be a way to still put the music out there, but to it's hate to say it, like, it's embarrassing yourself kind of in a sense. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Get your female keyboard player back there.
Right.
Guns N' Roses has one.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I loved when Vince Neil had the girl singing behind him. That was a great idea.
Well, it's funny, when you said that, you made a great point, and this is the head scratcher. You lose your voice, it's one thing, but if you lose your timing, that's with Vince Neil. I feel like Vince Neil still has range, but he doesn't have the timing. You know what I mean? And it's like, where did it go? I don't.
Dave Lee Roth, same way.
Yeah,
like, dude. I was talking to Daniel with Van Halen to come back out and played some live shows or whatever, and I'm going, Van Halen was one of my favorite bands, dude. That was the band when I was growing up. I'm like, I was a pretty good singer back then. I would not have liked this guy.
Right, yeah.
And but yeah, once again with him, timing and just cutting everything off and not even pronouncing the words.
Yeah, it's weird. So you're right. A lot of them, but then you got other guys that sound like the same. You know, like somebody like Michael Sweet from Striper, like he's still got it. You know, so some guys still got it, some guys don't. It sucks. It is what it is.
But I just feel so blessed to have had the career I had. You know, of course, you look back and you think, oh man, it'd be great to have been rich and famous and all that, and then you wonder, well, maybe it wouldn't have.
Well, you know? Yeah, you know, everything happens for a reason. So
maybe I landed where I needed to land. You know.
Yep, definitely.
And we're able to still go out, like I said, every weekend and play and have fun and laugh and drink beer with our friends and just have a blast making music, you know. And I've still got the ability to get up there, and I love it when people who've never seen us get out there and they hear me sing certain songs, Al Green or something like that, and they're going, who the hell is this dude singing?
That's awesome.
It's nice to have that superpower. So yeah, we still have so much fun, man, and to be able to go in and still write songs, record, and go play our original music live, man, we're having a blast, having a good time.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, I appreciate all your time and all your stories. I'm so glad.
Well, thanks for letting me. Thanks for letting me babble on, man.
No, man, this is awesome. Like I said, it was an honor to have you on. We're always talking about you and Lillian Axe, and I'm so glad that you're still making music, and I'm glad that I had the chance to speak with you.
I sure appreciate you having me on, man.
No problem. It was great talking with you, man, and I appreciate all the great music that you've done because it definitely had an impact on me. So
thank you so much, man.
All right, man. Have a great night. Thanks so much.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye now. Well, that was an honor to talk with Ron, man. I want you to keep an eye out because my book, A Hair Metal Journey, is going to be coming soon. So be on the lookout, and you know what you can do. Rock on!